How's everybody doing today? We're live on the Coach Remy, the Nasty Truth podcast. I'm here at the Wheeling Black Lives Matter protest against what happened, unfortunately, to George Floyd. I have Donovan on the right and Miss Kirsten on the left. I'm just going to ask them a few questions for the podcast. We're very excited this is happening in my home city of Wheeling, West Virginia. So my first question is, what is your, today, whoever wants to answer first, feel free to, what is your main reasoning for coming out today to protest?
I would have to say spreading awareness to people who have no clue what's going on in our country just because it doesn't happen here.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Spread awareness of what's going on and what could happen here at the same
Right.
time. So yeah, that's our main goal. Just to spread awareness.
Just because it's not happening to you personally doesn't mean that you can't come out and support or speak up. Anything helps.
Right.
Anything.
Exactly.
Literally, all we need is a hunk to feel good.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Feel supported.
Yeah, that's it.
And of course, you're supporting and, protesting against police brutality and helping with racial injustice. Do you guys want to elaborate on those two issues any?
All I have to say is all lives can't matter unless it includes Black lives as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just some people can't grasp that idea, and that's what he touched on. It's just people are closed-minded, and really we're just out here to educate, really.
Okay.
To spread awareness.
All right. And then my next question is, what is your message to the Wheeling community? You could even say the whole state and the Ohio Valley, since East Ohio borders Wheeling. What is your message to them and the Wheeling police force?
I just think for the people that aren't saying anything, we hear you.
Okay.
If you're not saying anything, trust me, you're speaking loud and clear.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, and then what would be your message nationally? Because obviously you guys see the news. There's a lot of protests going on in D.C., Nashville, Tennessee, down in Florida, Cleveland, Columbus. We're only 2 hours from Columbus. What would be your message nationally that here in Wheeling, we had 300 people. That's unbelievable. I'm so proud of my hometown for having 300 people here Sunday night. Yes. But what would be your guys' message nationally to the police forces and the communities on what we're doing here? What would be your message?
What would be my message? I think my message for the police in other places are obviously stop killing us.
Mm-hmm.
To everyone else who's rioting and protesting, keep it up. Our voices are being heard.
Okay.
My message would be for all the police officers that want to prove that they're not like that man.
Right.
Well, show us. You know what I mean? Just all it takes is a honk, a wave. We just had an officer come personally buy us popsicles with his own money, came out, took pictures with us, gave us really good motivational words. Like, just, it doesn't take that much just to prove your support.
Right.
It doesn't take much to not be racist.
Exactly.
And not kill us. And not oppress us.
Yes. Treat everybody fairly.
Treat everyone fairly.
I think it personally, in my opinion, I think it takes more energy to be rude and negative and hateful than it is to be supportive. Or honestly, especially on social media, if you have nothing nice to say, just don't say anything at all. Because
Right.
Trust me, we hear you.
We're all young kids too. I'm 26. I guess that's not really good, but I'm young. So I feel like what we say and how we feel is not.
It is, yes.
We are going to be the face of this country, and I think everyone here is going to go great places just for coming out here.
I do have to ask this question. I don't want to. I just thought of it. I don't want to put you guys on the spot, but to me, it was a slippery slope since I played college basketball and ran cross country at Fairmont State. But I did help run the Young Dems. That was my social and political involvement because I'm a couple years older than you guys. So President Obama in 2008 was the first election I got to vote in as an adult. First. Oh, really? Okay. So you're okay. I'm in my very early 30s, so you're close to my. Okay. Well, so I was very proud of that vote 2008 and 2012 for him and to support the West Virginia Democrats. But that was the first presidential in my lifetime I got to vote for. Obviously, I would assume everybody here and majority of the people that came Sunday are registered to vote. But voting, I think, I mean, you look at what's in the White House and how he says, if you loot, we shoot. I'm not advocating people riot. I think peaceful protest is the best, and I'm sure you guys would agree with that as well. But sometimes people get frustrated. I don't think people should go after small businesses, but
I don't either.
But do you
take the good and the bad.
exactly?
If you're for a cause,
Right.
you have to just own it up as an adult to realize this is not going to be cupcakes and rainbows.
Right. That's true. It's a good point.
It's just reality. You have to accept that, yes, this is going to be mostly good, but you're going to have to take the bad with it.
There's always some negatives, and people are frustrated. I'm not going to do my
We're
opinion.
not going to sit here and say that it's okay for that shit to happen. Sorry. for
Right.
that
No,
shit
you're
to
okay.
happen.
You're okay.
Yes, but I'm also not going to justify what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think what they're doing is
Right.
how they feel they're going to
They're
get
being
their
heard.
voices out, and they are
Yes.
being heard.
Yeah, my mom made a joke because I may cover the protests in DC, and one of my friends is an activist, and he asked me to come protest, and I said, well, maybe, but I'm going more as a journalist, not just an activist. But she made a joke about the police station in Minnesota. Do I think that was okay to set it to fire? Do I think it was bad? No, but there was nobody in there. Nobody got hurt. I'd rather see that burn down than a small business. But I'm not going to give my opinion too much. But what would you say about voter registration? That's what I was trying to get at. I think voting is very important, especially with who's in the White House, who's in this city hall right here, who's in the state capitol in Charleston. Would you encourage? Hopefully everybody is already registered to vote, but what would be your message to young people and even millennials, the whole millennial group? What would be your message so they get out and vote and because social activism is good, but voting and political activism are really what can change things in this country and in our community. So what would you encourage your fellow young people and even maybe a 45-year-old that isn't registered to vote? What would you encourage them when it comes to voting?
I would say, as much as everyone likes to complain here from office
Mm-hmm.
now, the only way we're going to get them out of office is to vote. So your vote does matter.
Right.
Exactly.
Some people might think, well, just one vote doesn't change anything. Yes, it does.
Yes,
It does.
And don't be afraid. Like, just don't be. I feel like, especially, I can't really speak for Wheeling, really, but this is just what I'm assuming. I feel like people are afraid to come out here, and you shouldn't be. We are peacefully protesting. Just don't be afraid to speak out.
Yes. Yeah, we don't have a hardcore Republican mayor. I mean, our mayor of Wheeling, Glenn Elliott, is a very progressive Democrat. I'm not going to say if he's a Bernie guy because he might call me, but I think he likes Bernie Sanders. But we have a mayor that has putting no statements out against the peaceful protest. We have a mayor that I would say maybe is supportive. I don't know if he's put out a support statement. Maybe he has on Facebook or Twitter. But, Okay.
Whatever.
Right.
I just think if you don't want your citizens in your town or whatever to not feel oppressed, or if you want them to feel oppressed, you have to ensure that they are okay by telling them they're okay, and this will not happen.
It's a very valid point.
You know what I mean? And that's all we really need to hear is, I mean, I no longer live in Wheeling anymore, but I have family here. I just want to make sure they're okay and they won't get shot. Or they won't get.
You're still a Wheeling resident, so it's okay. Maybe. So do you guys have anything else you'd like to say on the voting matters or being politically or socially active?
Me personally, I'm a really big believer in, like, if you're not educated on something, don't really speak on it.
Mm-hmm.
I personally am not very educated on that type of stuff, so I'm just not going to speak on it at all. But I do think you should register to vote and just don't be scared. And your vote does matter.
Anything, sorry, we got the beeping, which is good. You guys had a great response, but kind of cut us off. But politically and social advocatism, would you have any suggestions for anybody or anything else you'd like to speak on that? Any other statements?
Not really, honestly.
Okay.
No.
Well, hey, I really thank you guys for your time. I appreciate everything. And I appreciate what you guys do. Give one more pan out of everybody and some very excited people. And thank you guys again, and be safe.